Welcome back to The Broken Truth, the show where we dig beneath what you've been told, question the nature of our world, and uncover the hidden layers of reality that most will never dare to explore. If you're new here, I'm your host, Garrett. Make sure to follow, leave a review, and join the inner circle through the link in the description. That's where we share research, updates, and exclusive information that can't always be said on these platforms.
Nothing stays buried forever.
Now, tonight, we're diving into a topic that blends science, metaphysics, and the unexplained. The concept of dimensions beyond our own, and how they might connect to the existence of ghosts, spirits, and the very nature of the human soul. Let's start with the basics. When scientists talk about dimensions, they're referring to measurable directions of space. A line exists in one dimension, which is length. A square adds width, which is now 2 dimensions. And a cube adds depth, forming our familiar 3-dimensional world. Everything we see, touch, and move through exists within these 3 spatial coordinates. But physics tells us there's another, the 4th dimension, commonly described as time. In the early 1900s, Albert Einstein's theory of relativity redefined our universe as a fabric woven of both space and time. Space-time. Every object, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, moves along this 4-dimensional fabric. But for centuries before Einstein, mystics, philosophers, and mathematicians speculated about another type of 4th dimension, a spatial one, beyond the 3 we perceive. They believed this invisible dimension could explain what lies outside our physical senses. In spiritual and esoteric traditions, that hidden plane was often described as the realm of spirits, the dimension where consciousness exists free from physical constraints, a place where time flows differently. Matter is thin and energy takes form. To visualize this, imagine a flat world, 2-dimensional, like a sheet of paper. The beings living there, let's call them flatlanders, would have no concept of either up nor down. If you, a 3-dimensional being, placed your hand through their world, they'd only see cross sections of your fingers appearing and disappearing out of nowhere. Now, imagine we are those flatlanders, and something or someone from the 4th dimension passes through our 3D world. It would appear suddenly, distort reality for a moment, and then vanish. That concept alone begins to explain one of the oldest human mysteries: ghosts. Throughout history, nearly every culture has believed in spirits, entities that exist after death, somehow interacting with the living. The ancient Egyptians called it the Ka and Ba, the life forces that continued after the body was gone. In Christianity, we call it the soul. In Buddhism, the subtle body. And in modern paranormal terms, the ghost. According to Encyclopedia Britannica, ghosts are defined as the soul or specter of a dead person believed to inhabit the netherworld, yet capable of returning to the world of the living. But if consciousness leaves the body at death, where does it go? The idea that ghosts exist in a parallel dimension just outside our visible reality has grown from both metaphysics and science. If you picture the 4th dimension as an unseen layer wrapped around our own, then spirits might dwell within that layer. They're not in heaven or hell. They're right here beside us, in a different frequency of space-time. That's why apparitions seem to appear and disappear, pass through walls, or change size and form. If a 4D being passed through 3D space, we'd only see slices of it, faint outlines, shifting shapes, or quick flashes of energy. It's the same reason why paranormal investigators often describe cold spots, electromagnetic fluctuations, or sudden distortions. They may be detecting a momentary intersection between our dimension and another, what spiritualists call thin places. As one researcher described it, the veil between worlds is paper thin. If that veil exists, it would explain not just hauntings, but also why some people perceive spirits while others do not. Here's where things get quite fascinating. Many spiritual traditions teach that everything in existence vibrates, from the densest rock to the most ethereal thought. Science agrees in part. Atoms are made of particles in constant motion, held together by vibrating energy fields. The theory goes that spirits or consciousness, without form, vibrate at a higher frequency than physical matter. Most of us live at a dense material frequency, what mystics call low vibration. But a few individuals, physics, empaths, or children, may operate at a higher resonance, closer to that of the spirit world. This could be why some people see ghosts while others never do. Children, for example, are known to experience more paranormal phenomena. Neurologically, their brains produce more theta waves, a dreamlike, intuitive frequency associated with imagination and openness. They haven't yet developed the skepticism or logic filters that adults rely on. In essence, their minds are still tuned to receive what adults have learned to block out. As we grow, we focus on what our senses can measure. Sound, sight, touch, and everything else gets filtered as noise. But what if that noise is another dimension? Mediums and sensitives describe this in terms of tuning in. They claim to raise their personal vibration to match that of the spirit they're connecting with. Spiritual teacher Sonny Johnston explains beings in the spirit world will never lower their vibration to meet us. We must raise ours to connect with them. In more grounded scientific terms, the human brain can detect only a narrow frequency range. We see a sliver of the electromagnetic spectrum. We hear only a slice of available sound waves. And yet, there are frequencies all around us that we cannot detect. So, what if ghosts exist within those unseen bands of energy, like ultraviolet light or infrared sound? In the 1980s, engineer Vic Tandy discovered something remarkable. In his lab, he kept feeling a presence and seeing a gray figure in his peripheral vision. He later found the source, a ventilation fan emitting a 19 hertz infrasound frequency. That low vibration resonated with the human eye, causing illusions and dread. When the fan was removed, the quote unquote haunting stopped. Later studies found the same frequencies in cathedrals, tunnels, and haunted locations. It's possible that both science and spirituality are pointing toward the same truth. That reality is a spectrum of vibration, and ghosts occupy bands of energy that rarely intersect with ours. When they do, we catch a glimpse, a flash, a whisper, a feeling, before the frequencies drift apart again. To understand ghosts fully, we have to ask what makes something alive in the first place. On an atomic level, humans and inanimate objects are built from the same stardust: carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and other elements. There's no unique life atom. The difference isn't chemical, it's consciousness. Aristotle described the soul as the form of the body, the principle that organizes matter into a living being. Modern science calls it the hard problem of consciousness, the mystery of how physical processes produce awareness. No one has solved it. In spiritual terms, the soul is that consciousness itself, the eternal observer that animates the body. When the body dies, the atoms remain, but the driver leaves the vehicle. Most traditions teach that this essence persists, whether it's called the spirit, the atma, or the energy body. Some souls move to higher planes, others reincarnate, and some, for reasons emotional, karmic, or unfinished, stay behind. Those are the entities that we call ghosts. They exist without physical form, but not without identity. Their emotions, memories, and attachments remain imprinted in the energetic field of the world. And if the fourth dimension is real, they might occupy that layer, drifting just beyond our sensory limits. It's an eerie but beautiful concept. When you die, you don't vanish, you just change frequency. From that perspective, the afterlife isn't up or down, it's right here, overlapping ours, unseen until the vibrations align. When you strip away the fear and folklore, what we call ghosts may simply be evidence of consciousness existing beyond the body. Matter is temporary, energy is eternal. And if consciousness is energy, then death isn't an end, it's a transition. Perhaps ghosts aren't lost souls at all, but echoes of the same dimensional fabric that gave birth to life itself, a glimpse into a universe far more complex than our eyes can perceive. The next time you walk into an empty room and feel the air change, the next time you sense that someone's there when no one is, ask yourself, are you imagining it, or did two dimensions just intersect for a brief moment in time? Maybe reality isn't three-dimensional after all. Maybe it's infinite, layered, and alive with energy that never truly dies. Thank you for listening to The Broken Truth. If this episode challenged your perspective, comment your thoughts, leave us a review, and share it with a friend who questions the unseen world. And don't forget, join the Inner Circle, our private email list, to access exclusive research, deep dive PDFs, and information that can't be shared publicly. The link is in the description. Until next time, stay curious, stay awake, and never stop questioning, because the truth is never broken.